In the U.S. state of Wisconsin have dealt a blow to unionized public workers. The state Senate has voted to remove nearly all collective bargaining rights held by those employed in the public sector. It comes despite opposition from 14 Democratic senators who fled to Illinois in protest of the legislation 3 weeks ago. The measure will now go to the Republican-controlled state assembly, which is expected to pass it on Thursday. The latest Forbes rich list has been published, with more billionaires than ever before, and a growing number are making their fortunes in Asia, reflecting significant changes in the global economy. The United States is still home to the world's wealthiest, up from 403 to 413 billionaires. But the world's richest man is south of the border, Mexican telecoms tycoon Carlos Slim, retaining top spot for a second year running, increasing his wealth by $20 billion last year to give him a net worth of $74 billion. Microsoft founder Bill Gates might have pipped him, but philanthropic donations of roughly $30 billion reduced his personal pot to only $56 billion. Not far behind, U.S. investment guru Warren Buffett with $50 billion. And for the first time in a decade, there are more billionaires in the Asia-Pacific region than Europe. China, for example, doubling its number of billionaires to 115.
But in terms of Asia-Pacific, the number of increase in billionaires is almost 40%, a huge increase in wealth. In terms of the BRICS, you saw Russia go from 62 billionaires to 101, Brazil from 18 to 30. And so what this underscores is that there is dynamism in the world economy, but it's not in the United States and it's not in Western Europe.
An empty train has slipped off its tracks in Australia and crashed into a bank building. The train overshot a stop at the end of a railway in Melbourne City and ploughed through the front of this small bank late on Wednesday. No one was hurt, including the driver, who walked away unharmed. Officials are investigating the cause of the accident. Still ahead this hour. Why guitar legend Eric Clapton has been selling off his favorite instruments. And Rahul will be here with all the sport, including this coach's effort to win his first trophy since returning to Liverpool.
A debilitating condition afflicting millions of women across the developing world.
Sometimes it is not possible to cure a patient with fistula. We have to prepare her psychologically.
Revealing the human stories behind fistula and its intimate connection to poverty. A powerful new series exploring global maternal health. Birthrights, at this time on AlJazeera.
Time now for the sport. Here's Rahul.
And thank you very much. Co-host Sri Lanka are facing Zimbabwe right now in the Cricket World Cup in Kandy after losing to Pakistan and having their match against Australia rained off. So Sri Lanka's really need a win in this one to cement their quarter-final hopes. Zimbabwe won the toss and put the Sri Lankans in. Might be regretting that at the moment. Sri Lanka currently 152 for no loss after just 27 overs. Openers Dilshan and Taranga going very well indeed. Meanwhile, India became the first team to qualify for the quarter-finals after a rather laboured win over the Netherlands, batting first in New Delhi. The Dutch batsmen were bowled out for 189. Well, like against Ireland in their previous game, the Indians were less than convincing in reply. At 139 for 5, they would have been worried, but like against Ireland, Yuvraj Singh eased those fears with an unbeaten half-century. As they reached 191 for 5, India win by 5 wickets. So confirmation, India are through with 2 matches to spare. Remember, it's the top 4 teams that qualify for the last 8. FIFA have started an investigation into match-fixing allegations surrounding 2 games held in Turkey last month. FIFA's disciplinary committee are looking into the friendlies involving Bolivia versus Latvia and Estonia v Bulgaria. This after all the goals in those games came from penalties. Both matches are understood to have been handled by the same team of Hungarian officials. Well, English side Tottenham have made it through to the last 8 of the Champions League for the first time in their history. A goalless draw in the second leg of their tie against AC Milan, enough to see them progress. Well, Spurs had to survive some nervy moments in London as they fought to protect their 1-0 lead from the first game. William Gallas on hand to clear the ball off the line here. The 0-0 draw enough for Spurs and the end of the road for the 7-time European champions, Milan.
Try not to get too down when it doesn't go well and try not to go overboard when it goes well. So I'll enjoy it. The players, it's all about the fans. They've got a great night. For them, they're proud of their club and, you know, I think that's what we've done. We've given them something to be proud of and that's all that matters really to me. You know, they've got to have enjoyed this.
Crikey, Harry Redknapp there. Schalke will join Spurs in the last 8. Meantime, Jefferson Farhan scored twice as the German side fought back from an early deficit to earn a 3-1 win against Valencia. That gave them a 4-2 aggregate win and was a sweet moment for their Spanish striker Raúl, who won this title 3 times with Real Madrid, of course. Well, the Europa League takes centre stage on Thursday with Liverpool heading to Portugal to take on Braga in the first leg of their last 16 tie. The 5-time European champions should be full of confidence after their 3-1 win over league leaders Manchester United in the English Premier League on Sunday. They're also enjoying a 13-game unbeaten run in Europe going into this match. Steven Gerrard isn't with the squad, though. He hasn't made the trip because of a groin injury.
We know they had a fantastic season last year, and this year maybe not as gone as well as what they would have hoped. But that doesn't mean to say that it's going to be anything other than a difficult game for us.
Well, Dynamo Kiev are at home to Manchester City in the first leg of their tie. The Ukrainians beat Besiktas 8-1 on aggregate in the second round and are now facing a City side aiming to win their first major trophy in 35 years. Well, City coach Roberto Mancini, though, he's already angered his hosts. He said the pitch they're going to play on simply isn't good enough. 8 games in all coming up this Thursday. PSV Eindhoven are unbeaten in 9 Europa League games going into the match with Rangers. Get my teeth in. Portuguese side Benfica also on a great run of form. Just broken a national record by winning 18 consecutive matches. Now, the Palestinian national football team have played their first ever competitive match on home soil. In 2008, Palestine played their first friendly international in Ramallah, but they've had to wait another 3 years to host a competitive game. They were taking on Thailand in the second leg.